As songwriters, we often need to harmonize vocals. And I looked at a way of doing it a couple of videos ago using the plugin, and I want to look at another way of doing it now in the standalone version that offers some different options. Now, I've taken the melody that we used in the last couple of videos, and I've created my own accompaniment. I didn't use the band in a box chords. I've created my own, and I'll play you what I have now with some synths, some keyboards, and a drum loop.
'Cause this is my lifeline, lifeline.
It's F minor, going to E flat.
I'm feeling
Simplified chords, back to F minor,
right
E flat,
time,
F minor, back to E flat.
breathe your life.
So just two chords. So I want to bring this in to Band in a Box standalone and show you a different way of working with it. So I'm going to launch the standalone version right here, and let's just bring it into view. I'm going to set the tempo. It's at 124. And as you'll recall, we're in the key of F minor. So let me just set that. And then I'm going to bring in the audio file from the audio editor or into the audio editor. I'm just going to drag and drop it in. And I've got it here in the Finder, and it's this one over here. And the original one, let me just go back to here for a moment. You'll notice if you look in the transport over here, it starts at bar 3, beat 2. So I want to make sure this is going to line up because I didn't bounce this down rounded to the bar and all that. So first chorus, bar 3, beat 2 at the first tick. So let me go OK. And now if I go back to our regular chord sheet, it should start with the pickup here and the downbeat landing on bar 4. First of all, let me disable the style.
'Cause this is my
1, 2,
lifeline,
3, 4.
lifeline.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm feeling
So it's lined up so that it's coming in at 4, and that's where it is here in my DAW, and that's going to help when I'm drag and dropping back in. So let me start by entering the chords. They're pretty simple. There's only 2 of them. F minor, F minor. It's when they change that's important. E flat to F minor. And then the next 4 bars starts on the E flat, goes to F minor, and then 2 bars of E flat. And then I can set the ending a number of ways. I'll do it here for now. I'll just go to bar 11. And that's our basic form. So what I want to do now is go under the audio menu or harmony menu. The function I'm looking for is under either of them. So just so you know, you can also import audio from here. But here's where I want to go: audio harmonies, pitch tracking, or fixed tuning. And we can get to that same function here under the harmony menu. And it brings this window up with several interesting options. We can tune the vocal track if we want, and we can copy it to the melody track or the soloist track and generate harmonies automatically. Or we can get harmonies generated based on the chords in the chord sheet, which is what I want now. And it's going to be interesting. And we can create all different types of voicings based on these different styles of voicings. But I'm going to leave it in intelligent mode for now. And let's bump this up to 4 voices. And let's go maybe 2 voices above. And I'm going to have the doubling at none. It's interesting when you double it an octave lower for these kinds of pop styles, but I'm going to leave it at none for now. And that means we'll get 2 voices above and 2 below, which will give a nice, rich vocal. And here we can adjust the volume and panning of each of these. So let me just lower these a little bit and leave the main vocal up. And we can balance. I'm going to leave the main vocal in the center, the original melody, and then let's pan these. We're going to get a mix of them all. Now here's where it's interesting also. I can transcribe to the melody track and the harmony voices to the soloist track. So let's go OK. And now I'm just going to play this.
'Cause this is my,
Let me just mute these 2 here.
'cause this is my lifeline, lifeline.
And nice harmonies.
I'm feeling high. Get it right this time, this time.
So really interesting. And if we play, let's say, the vibraphone track, I've now got that transcribed, and I can drag and drop that as MIDI. And here I've got the harmonies transcribed as well. It's just a vocal ooh sound, but the important thing is that I can bring it in as MIDI. So let's take this audio and bring it over to our drop station over here. And it's going to get rendered as wave into one mixed file. And if I drag it right in at bar 1, it should line up. There we go. I'm going to mute our original. And Let's just listen to this. Got a bit of reverb on here.
'Cause this is my lifeline, lifeline. I'm feeling high. Get it right this time, this time.
And it follows the chords nicely.
Breathe your life.
Now here we're only using 2 chords, but imagine some sophisticated jazz voicings. You can get some really interesting harmonies generated. So now let's take the melody, the vibes, and I'm going to drag that over to the MIDI zone over there. And from there, we can drag and drop it in on another sound. Here's a MIDI sound. I'm not sure if this is going to work. And again, let's just shorten this so it lines up. And I'll bring it to bar 2, and that should do it. I'll just mute this, and we'll hear the melody now with this synth sound. Bring it here and make it a bit louder at a low velocity, but the notes are there, and that's the important thing. So some of those grace notes have to be fixed up a little bit. Those are minor tweaks that you can do in any DAW MIDI editor. But the idea is we have that melody that was originally audio now rendered as MIDI, so we can treat it as such. And similarly, I can take the harmony parts that are now on the solo track, which is, again, just by default assigned to that vocal ooh sound, but that's easy enough to change either in band in a box or anywhere else. But I'm going to bring that in here, and we'll see here that it's more dense because we're getting, of course, multiple notes. And if we look in the editor, we'll see all different parts. Again, some grace notes have to be cleaned up. There's a bit of overlapping. But the point is they're all there. The velocities are all at 127. That can all be tweaked and adjusted. But the cool thing is we now have these really interesting harmonies as both audio and MIDI. Here I've got the MIDI cleaned up. I've deleted some notes, adjusted the timing of others, and so on. And here it is blended nicely with the vocals using these 2 different synth sounds.
'Cause this is my lifeline, lifeline. I'm feeling high. Get it right this time, this time. Breathe your life.
We'll continue with more in the next video.